Whilst the business model canvas is a great way of articulating what your business does, it's perhaps most useful when it's used to challenge each element of the existing business model to generate new ideas and concepts. The canvas becomes an organic document that's used to adapt and modify the business in response to the market as part of ongoing strategy. This is the final phase of manage and includes scanning the horizon for changes in competition, technologies, or other external factors. Revisit the business model canvas on a regular basis and ask, does the business model still make sense? Could any of the elements of our business model be under threat from our environment? And do trends in our environment offer any opportunities if we were to change our business model? The business model canvas really comes to life when you systematically ask, what if, for each of the elements. For example, what if we had to offer a core product for free? How would we replace the lost revenue? This is particularly relevant when a business is forced to re-examine its business model in response to macro-environmental conditions, removing one or more of the basic building blocks. For example, when the social distancing measures undertaken to combat COVID-19 resulted in your main channels to your customer being closed. By using the business model canvas to understand your traditional model, you'll be able to explore new models that deliver sustainable strategic alternatives. This is best done by a team of people drawn from across the organisation, using brainstorming and creative thinking techniques. Look at each of the building blocks in turn and explore how the response to a what-if question is likely to influence the other blocks. Some questions to help stimulate thinking include: what if you lost this customer group? What would you do? Which groups are most at risk? Do any of these groups offer an opportunity? For which growing segments could you develop a new proposition of value? What if your value proposition no longer worked? What would you change? What else might be of value to each customer segment? How might you better align your value proposition with the needs of the customer? What's the competition doing that might reduce the value that you provide? And are there any new alternative products or services available that offer additional value or at a lower price? What if your customers told you that they wanted a different kind of relationship with you? What's the most common complaint that you get? How could your customer relationships be improved? Which of your customer relationships is most likely to deteriorate? What if your most important channel was no longer available to you? How might you better raise awareness of your offerings? What new channels could you introduce? Which channels would be interesting to develop to reach more customers? What could you do to make it easier for customers to make a decision to buy from you? What if you stopped doing this activity? Are there any activities currently provided by third parties that would be interesting to do in-house? Are there any offers that could be developed based on the key activities? And which of these activities are least aligned to your value propositions? What if you lost this key resource? What if the supply of this key resource was disrupted? What if you were able to secure this new key resource? Are there offers that you could develop based on your key resources? What if this partner started to work with one of your key competitors? What if this partner no longer wanted to work with you? What can partners do better or cheaper than you can? Which partners do your competition use and why? And are you too dependent on any of these key partners? What if you got bigger? What if you stopped doing this? What if you started doing that? How would your costs change? Are all of the costs well aligned with your value propositions? What are the main costs for your business? How would you describe your cost structure? Which costs are fixed and which change as you do more? What are the main costs associated with each customer segment and each of the key partnerships, activities and resources? And which costs are most likely to grow more quickly than the revenues that they support? What if you stopped doing this? What if you started doing that? How would your revenues change? Which revenue stream is most likely to disappear? What else would customers be willing to pay for? And what would they be willing to pay? Would customers prefer to pay in a different way? Which revenue stream is most at risk? Revisiting the business model canvas on a regular basis and asking these questions will help to ensure that the organisation is able to adapt and respond to changing conditions. By sharing the canvas with everyone in the organisation, You help to align the business to create synergies and reduce conflict. Giving more people the opportunity to submit ideas for how the business model can be adjusted is likely to result in better engagement and ideas worth exploring. Used in this way, the business model canvas helps the design of the organisation to remain focused on the customer in order to create, deliver, and capture value as effectively as possible.